and Linda and Mama and Anna. Anna, that's a good name. Shout out, let me know that you can hear me. I think you guys can. I just want to make sure. I got a new tripod, so I'm playing with that. This is the third one. Hey Robin, ooh. Ooh, Robin, I'm sorry. No sound yet. Hi from... Okay. Let's make sure everyone can hear me. You can hear me, Diane? Okay, good. How's everybody doing? Having a great Labor Day weekend? I am so far. I worked at the shop yesterday, and today went and hung out with my mom and my daddy. That was always fun. Had lunch at their beautiful place. Awesome. Oh, will someone type to Ernestine to log off and then log back on? Oh, Ernestine, you have sound. Never mind, don't type to her. Thank you. Well, welcome to the 10th edition of Sewing at the Beehive. Today we're going to do something really fun. I'm still learning a little bit about each machine and this technique, so just bear with me. There's some really great things you can do with your embroidery machine, and of course I'll be using the Meridian and Solaris today. Those of you who don't have a Meridian or an Altair or a Destiny or a Solaris, there are ways to get around this, and I'll talk about that. But we're going to be using the features, basically kind of the camera features or the scanning features or on the Meridian and the Solaris. The Solaris, the way I'm going to do this on the Solaris, if you have a Destiny 2, you're able to do this on yours. Now, the way that I do it for the Meridian and Altair is a little bit different. The only way I could figure it out is the one way I'm going to show you. I'm sure there's many other ways to do it, and once I find out new ways, I can always show you guys. The other thing is there was a few questions in the group, and I want to hit on those a little bit later. We'll do that after I finish doing my demonstration. And Diane says, you're a lucky girl. Yes, I am so lucky to still have my parents. Yes, couldn't live without them. So, hey Betty. So, yeah. So, are there any questions before we get started? Anything anyone wants to talk about or whatever? Hey Jean. So I'll watch the dog for a minute. She's real busy right at the moment. I want her life. Okay, well, I don't see any questions popping up so far. I do want to show you guys this. I showed you guys this a while back. I was stitching this out. It's the placemat from the Zandra Shaw Designs. And I used some markers to color in some of it. Can you see that? Isn't that pretty? So I think I'm just going to do that center section and then leave the rest black and white. I have one more dragonfly to color, but I had a blast. I love to color. I always have. I bought coloring books and colors all the way through high school, through my adulthood. I was a colorer before it was fashionable. So, let's see, Linda, did you get the magnet? No, I haven't gotten a new magnetic hoop yet. I just, for some reason, I'm holding off. I have no idea why. I need to just get it and get over it. It's so cool. It's like super cool. And Vertimud, I understand it's a little bit easier. The Baby Lock one's a little bit easier to use, so you don't. So yeah, I just need to jump right in and just buy it and get it over with. Okay, so let's talk about quilting with the embroidery party wear machine. In the Solaris, there are a couple of designs built in for this. The Meridian, I couldn't find any, but that's okay. There are tons of people who have made beautiful designs for quilting in the hoop. Excuse me, y'all know I have the worst allergies. Okay, one that I got, her name is Jessica Schick. She has some great ones. But there's tons of them out there, and you can find them on places like Embroidery Online, or your local quilt shop might have, like USBs that have them on there. If you've got software, a lot of software, like I believe Palette might have some built in. I'm getting that. I'm waiting on that. Hey, Daddy. So there are tons of designs out there. And when I say a quilting design in the hoop, basically, if you are familiar with long arm quilting, Amelie Scott does. Oh yeah, Linda, that's right. She has beautiful ones. Amelie Scott designs really, really pretty ones. I even saw that Kimber Bell is coming out with some. So if you're familiar with long arm quilting, but the computerized long arms, the ones that have the computer with it and you can put a design in there or pull up an or a design, it'll stitch it out for you, and it kind of reminds me of embroidery. And they have these long designs, so they kind of connect to each other. And what they'll have is a beginning spot and an ending spot. And you've got to get the beginnings, or you've got to be able to hook on to those beginning and ending spots. Someone out there said, hey, I can do this in my embroidery machine, and thankfully they did, because we can quilt whole quilts inside of our embroidery machine. What are those things called? Also, they have the big pieces of paper, y'all know what I'm talking about, that have the designs that are on them. And with the long arm machines, they can use like a little laser beam to follow those. So it's similar to that, but a little bit easier, especially since we have these great machines that have cameras in them, where we can use the app to take a picture of our quilt and throw it over there. Yeah, Lisa, they are sort of like a giant embroidery machine. Pentagram, thank you, Diane. That's exactly what I was looking for, that word. Now, the one that I pulled up in the Solaris when I was playing with it actually was really cute. I love this one. And hopefully you can see this. If not, I'm going to get you in the light to see it. Let me stand up. It has a sewing machine down at the bottom, and it has a spool of thread and some scissors, and it's really super cute. Now, let me fold this at the point of the design itself. So this is one design. And what you have to do is connect those designs. So you can see right here where I've connected it to go across the next point, and then so on and so forth. It goes all the way across. And well, how do we do that? The Solaris and the Destiny 2, they have what's called pattern connectivity, and it's really easy, and I'm going to walk through that with you. With the Meridian and Altair, I couldn't find, and maybe I'm just missing it, that specific button, but we really don't need it, because we can use our app on our iPhones or iPads or whatever you have, and join up the designs that way. So it's really easy. Now, if you have an embroidery machine that does not have that technology, what I generally suggest, there is template paper that you can buy. and it's a sticky template paper. I know that R&K makes it, and I'm sure OESD makes it. I'm not, I'll check if Baby Lock makes the template sheets, but you run them through your printer. And what it'll do is it will print, you know, if you have your design, you can print that design. Dime has it. Okay, cool. You can print your design on the piece of paper that is this template paper that's sticky, and you can use that for alignment. And that's how I did things for years until I had these fabulous machines, as I printed all my designs on this sticky template paper, and it allowed me to put my design wherever I wanted because I could get it lined up on my fabric. I could put that sticky piece of paper down and move my needle wherever I needed to go. So that's basically what you would have to do with your normal basic embroidery machine. But of course, we're what I call spoiled. I love it. We have these fabulous machines from Baby Lock, and if you have a brother, you can do this in yours as well. Pretty cool. So what I want to start off with is, let's see, which one will I start off with? Let's start off with the Solaris, and then I'm going to jump to the Meridian. Okay, Lisa said Dimes is called print and stick template paper. Yes. Okay, let's see. Sue asked, can you use the Fills and IQ Designers quilt patterns and connect them? Why not? We'll test that. Let's test it while we're here. Might as well. And let's see. The only thing that you may not have is you're not going to have that. You may be able to finagle it, but you probably maybe will not have that end point and start point. However, you can probably butt them up somehow and figure it out. We'll just try it. I mean, doesn't hurt to try anything once. Take my shoes off. I don't need them on in here. Okay, so let's jump on over to Sunshine the Solaris, and I'm going to show you how to use your pattern connectivity. And then we'll jump on the Meridian, and I'll show you how an easy way to get your designs lined up while you're quilting. Okay, sounds like fun. So if you're just joining on, I got a new tripod, so this is going to be a little bit jiggly for a minute. Still figuring out. It's the third one I've bought, and hopefully this is the last one I have to buy. So it's really nice though. I kind of like it. So I'm going to take you over to, here we go, we'll flip you around. And I have this thing here. What's really cool is I have this little handle here. And that's really cool. Let's get you guys in. The only thing is the legs are so long. So let me move some stuff out the way underneath here. There we go. I think we should be able to make it. And then let's go down some. And let's see if we can get a little bit closer. Yeah, oh, okay. Okay. Sue says she has tried but have lines around the fill patterns. And then Judy says you can remove the lines, and Anna said you can remove the lines. Yeah, girl, you can remove those lines, which is super cool. Sue, I'll show you how to do that here in just a little bit, and that way it's really easy. All you have to do on your machine, there is a button when you're in that screen before you go to embroidery, and it says turn outlines off, and that's what we want to do. So I'm just getting you guys just a little bit lower. Okay, and I'm going to go home here. And let's, oops, wrong way. Hey. Let's turn that light off so we can see the machine a little bit better. Okay. And I'm going to go to my home button. Okay, so pattern connectivity on the Solaris. Let's go over that. Now this is a really cool feature. Again, I said it's in the Destiny, and it's also in the Solaris 1 and Solaris 2. Sorry, I'm just trying to get y'all a little bit closer. So since it is new, the little snaps on here are a little rough until we get them worked in. That's better. Okay. So what we want to do first is find a design. Now you can use, like I said earlier, a pre-made design, or there are a couple in the Solaris, and I'll show you where I found those. And in the I'm actually not sure where they're at, but there may be some in there. So we're actually not going to use any of our IQ today. But what we are going to use is the embroidery. So I'm going to go to embroidery. Let's use my fancy tool here. Okay. And where I found these two designs is if I go under number 2, and then I go to number 3 little folder right here and scroll all the way down. Now here's some fun ones here. Here's some really pretty ones. I can't wait to stitch this out. It's like this cool, makes this cool house on. Look, you can put those in the middle. But down here at the bottom, 049 and 050. Now 050 is the one that I used on the quilt I just showed you. But let's take a look at 049. And there's a great video that on the SewEd website that Sarah Gallegos did, and it is the table runner that I put this on, and she really goes over a lot when it comes to this pattern connectivity. So I'm going to hit set, and there we go. But I don't know if you can see my background. I put my 9.5 by 9.5 inch hoop up there, and how you can change your hoops. If you need to know that you need, or you know you need to be in a specific size of your hoop, what you're going to do is you're going to first go to settings. And generally, if you're in the embroidery side of the machine, it's going to go to that very first embroidery screen for your settings. And right here where it says frame size, you can tell it what frame you are using. So if I was using the 4x4, I would just tell it 4x4. And if I click OK, you can barely see it, but there's the 4x4 box right there for me. But I'm going to use the 9.5 by 9.5. So I'm going to go back up here. And you do not have to do this, but it gives you a great guideline. You can also turn on a grid. So if you're doing a phrase or just trying to line up designs, you can use a grid, and I'll turn it on. I use it when I'm trying to line up designs. I don't really use it any other time, but I think that's great. I think that's very helpful, especially if you are a software user and you're used to having some help with grid lines. This is awesome. So I'm going to turn that off because I do not need that. Now, if you can vaguely see my 9.5 inch hoop line in there, this design's a little bit too big for that. So with our machines, we can do something a lot more fun with that. So when I was watching Sarah's video, what she did explain, if you are going to do the one that, if you're going to do this size, the one that just came in, what you need to do is go into edit and go to size and shrink it down just until it clicks. It goes that, and that's going to bring it down a little bit smaller. And for some reason that works better when you use this pattern connectivity. However, I'm going to go even smaller than that, because remember, when we're in the size area and you are highlighted blue with the box and the arrows, you can go up, or you can resize 20% larger or 10% smaller. But with the Destinies, the Solaris, the Altair, and the Meridian, we have one more special button. because we have a digitizer built into our machines, we're going to select the one with the little zigzag and arrows and say OK. And now I can shrink it down 60%, or I can blow it up, make it larger to 100% with stitch recalculation. Genius, 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 more genius than I have ever known in my life. I mean, it's just, I love this feature. I mean, that's really one of the things that totally sold me on these machines when I used to travel and teach this around the country. I just loved that feature. Okay, because I'm in control of my embroidery now, and it's all at my fingertips on my machine. Go ahead and use this size, and the reason why I shrunk it down is just for time. So I'm going to say OK, and it took it to 8.86 by 5.91. Cool. And then I'm just going to go to embroidery. Now, when I get to the embroidery screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select layout. Do you see this little bar, or have you seen this little sign before and you're like, what is that? I don't really care about that. I don't know what it does. Well, let me tell you what it does. That is called pattern connectivity. And I am going to select that. I'm just going to tap it once and I'm done. All I have to do now, oh, and I want you to notice that it popped up right here. It's telling me it's in pattern connectivity mode. Now, what it wants me to do now is hoop my fabric, and I did, and I used a disappearing marker, and it is disappearing. So I've hooped my fabric, and I'm just going to stitch this one little one out in front of you guys. It should take 3 minutes, so not very long. And I'm just going to let it, just for today's purposes, kind of let it stitch out where it is. So here we go. Just going to move you guys over. Actually, I'm going to move it up just a hair because I can go in layout and use move and go up a little bit and just at least get it centered, because I can do what I want. And you know, so I'm going to hit start, and while that's stitching out, we've got 3 minutes. Do you have any questions? I forgot to do something, but I will show you how to do that something when we do the meridian, because the first thing that happens is generally when we quilt something, we go down and we pick up our bobbin thread, and I didn't do that. I totally just kind of jumped the gun there. But I will show you how to do that on the meridian when we get to that point. The other thing that I did with this one is I wound a bobbin in the same color thread as my embroidery design. I thought this would show up better on camera, but it doesn't. It's a green. And you can do that. I don't have to change my tension at all. I always do a test stitch when I do that, just to make sure that I don't have to go in and play with my tensions, because if there's one thing I hate more than anything in embroidery is messing with tensions. I don't even mess with my tensions when I'm sewing, because I'm a quilter. I really don't have to, and I don't sew a lot on heavy fabrics or slippery fabrics. I'm pretty lucky. Yeah, and make sure, and a lot of people ask me this, and I'm not sure how you use your machines, and how you use your machines is totally your thing. But with the Solaris, I did find that using the embroidery bobbin case works great for embroidery. And if you're looking at bobbin cases, this is your bobbin case. I know that's a little dark, but notice, this is just a second one I have. No, you'll notice, and let's see, I'm going to turn the light on so you can see it a little bit better. There's a purple dot in there. You got that with your Solaris, that is your embroidery bobbin case, and they're easy to switch out, and they do add a little bit of a better tension when you're embroidering. So Diane asks, are magnetic hoops easier to use? Well, you know, what they're easier for, Diane, is when you're going to do quilting and borders, they're easier to slide the fabric around. So yeah, in a way, they really are. And I know a lot of people love them, and I'm sure some of the ladies on here have magnetic hoops. They most likely have the dime magnetic hoops, and they are pretty nifty. So if anyone wants to chime in their experience with magnetic hoops, please go right ahead and do that. So we are almost done. Almost done with the embroidery here. And I'm going to show you where these start points and these end points are. All right, so we're done with that first one. Now, if I take this out and hold it up for you guys, well, I'm trying not to hit the camera, but you know, let's just take it out of the back. There we go. Let's see if you can see it. Okay, you can see the design. Let's lay it down here. Okay, so if I'm looking at this design, what you're going to see over here is a start point. Let's get that out of the way. A start point, and then over here is the end point. This is where it's going to line up for the next part. This is really cool. I love this. But what I don't want to do is just what I did, take my hoop off. I want to leave it on. And I'll tell you why here in just a moment. Let's get it back on there. Trying to get a little more light in there. Maybe turn. Let me go turn on the light. Want to go see Daddy? There you go. Big girl. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is what it says on screen here. So it says, Anna, the embroidery is finished. Is it okay to connect to the next pattern? I'm going to say, that's perfect. And it says to me, do not remove the material from the frame. So do not unhoop this. Press OK key to select the next pattern. Okay, now what I did or didn't do was save my pattern. So I'm going to have to remake that. But it's easy. I know what my size was. But generally you would save the pattern. So let's go back to our designs and find that design. Here it is. Hit set. But I'm going to resize it to what I had it to before. Okay, and it's just going to go all the way down till 8.86 by 5.91. But I'm going to go ahead, my memory is already gone, so now I can't save that. But that's okay. I'm only going to do it one more time anyways. But I should have saved it. I'll slap myself on the hand. Okay, so I've got my new design up. Now what I want to do, look, there's that little motif again. So I'm going to tap that. And it's going to then ask me, hey, where are you going to put this next? You have 16 different placements to put the design. I can connect it to the bottom, I can connect it to the sides, I can connect it down over here. And the easiest way to get it to where you want is to use these keys right here. So I'm just going to select this one. Let me get my finger on there. Well, I should have went around the other way, but that's okay. I'm just going to go do, 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 do. So you can see it's doing a little dance. And now that's exactly where I want it. So I'm going to say okay. And I don't know if you can tell, but I know it's a little hard for you to see, but right here in the center, that's where my end point was, and now the start point of the new design, that's where it's going to connect. And I'm going to say okay. Okay again. And then it's going to do a couple things. It's going to say affix the first embroidery positioning mark on the material securely so that the mark is inside of the red frame. Now you got these with your machine. They look like a figure 8, and these are your positioning marks, and you can use these for a bunch of different reasons, but today we're using for pattern connectivity. So watch what happens, and hopefully you can see this on my, I might have to get really close to show you guys. So let's go down a little bit. That's a little bit closer. And can I turn you in more? Oh, I can, look. All right. Okay. Nope, if I do that, you can't see it. But what I want you to notice, let's see if I can get a piece of paper here, is, and you probably can vaguely see it, but can you see there is a red mark right here? And if I kind of tilt the paper a little bit, you can kind of see that there's that shape. It's like it's weird. It's like going away in the camera. There we go. Okay. That is where we're going to put our marker. See that little same shape as this guy? We're going to do that. So I'm just going to align it up with that sticker. And remember, I did not remove anything out of the hoop at this point. So I'll place that one right there, and then we'll hit scan. So I'm going to move the camera back just a little bit to give it some room. And let me show you what's on the screen. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. So it's just scanning, 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 doing what it does the best. Now, what you may not be able to see is there's one more right here. Yeah, that's a little harder for you to see. But it is projecting down that red image right down here, and I'm going to grab a second one, and these are reusable. Reuse them until they're not sticky anymore. And I'm going to place that where it tells me to place it. Oh gosh, this is so cool, guys. I love this. Okay, and then on the screen it says scan. I'm going to tap scan again. I'm going to move. Thanks, Deborah. I found it in my stash. Every now and then we sell this at the shop, and I do love it. I think it's precious. Okay, so now it's done its thing. And look at this. Oh, my silly little lights are in there now. Okay, do not remove the embroidery positioning marks. So it's telling me don't take those stickers off. Please rehoop the material so that the next pattern and the centers of the two marks are in the embroidery area. So what it's telling me to do is take the hoop off, and I'm going to move the fabric down, but I'm not going to remove my stickers, nor am I going to cover them up. So let's take a walk over here, and y'all get to see the messiness, of course, right? And what I'm going to do is lift you guys up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. What could that be in the background there? Could that be the new quilter's planner? Okay, Ernestine. It does not, but that's why I'm going to show y'all how to do this on your type of machine, on how you can get this to work the same way. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is unhoop my fabric, and all I'm going to do, and Diane, thing about the magnetic hoop, this, with the magnetic hoops, you can, what's really cool about them is you can leave them on the machine, unhook the magnets, and move your fabric down, so you don't have to get up and move it to a station to do what I'm doing. That's why I really need one. I really should just buy one. Okay, so if you can see what I'm doing, I'm moving the fabric down, but I'm not going to cover up my stickers. So what I want to do is check that by placing this back down and making sure my stickers are still in the picture there. So I'm going to get that in nice and well. And the thing I love about like the 9.5 by 9.5 and the 10 by 5/8 and the big hoops is they have this great latch system right here, so you can just so great on your hands. I have icky hand problems because I was a hairdresser for so long and then a sewer. Okay, all right, so I've got my fabric hooped. I'm just going to slide this back onto the machine. I'll come and get the camera here in a moment. I'm going to flip you around. Okay. Mindy, it's okay. You can always, and Tammy, it's okay. Don't worry about that. You can always go back and watch. Okay. So now you can see my stickers are still on there. Okay, Bill says, good point. When the snowman's stickers are not sticky any longer, puts a piece of double stick tape on it and reuse it more. Yeah, good idea. We like to get our money's worth, right? Okay, so you can see that my stickers are still on there, and this is what it looks like on my screen. Remember, it said don't remove those, rehoop, and I'm going to hit scan. So it's using that great camera compatibility in there, and it's going to go read. It's going to say, okay, where is the first sticker? There we go. And it's reading it. Okay, good job. Next, it's going to go to the second sticker, and it's going to read it. And this is what it looks like on the screen. It's just finding it. And go back over here. Okay. Looks like it's ready. And now this is what it says. It says the embroidery positioning marks are recognized. Remove the embroidery positioning marks and embroidery the pattern. Okay. Number one thing here's, oh, that's the other thing, guys. I broke this thing. I have to have Jason glue it back together. So 1 second, I just totally broke it again. Y'all don't expect this to be professional, I know. If you get dizzy, close your eyes for a minute, and I'll tell you when to reopen them. Because I just totally broke this again. Brand new, and I break it. Where are you? There we go. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my positioning stickers just like it told me to, and I'm going to set them up here. And I am so hoping you can see, or you will be able to see what happens next. Okay. Girl, if it's going to break, I'm going to break it, so. Let's do this. 1 second so you guys can see a little bit better. Help you see a little bit better. See the coolness. Okay, so I'm going to take my marker. This is where my ending was. Can you see the blue dot? I'm going to push OK. And now I'm going to drop my foot and hit start. Did you see it moved right to my blue dot? Oh my gosh, mind blown. And it connected it right there, all with those great little stickers. And pattern, I tell you guys, it's worth the cost of the machine if you want to quilt with your machine for this. And of course, I can keep going. And I just was doing two, just so I can show you guys. I could turn this into a cute little hot pad, especially, look how cute the fabric is on the back. Oh my goodness, I love puppies. Oh, there's puppies and kittens on here. So, someone might be getting this as a gift. Mom, this is your Christmas present. So it's just going to connect and just keep going. You'll do the same process over and over again. So Deborah, I had mentioned earlier that unfortunately they don't have this on this particular feature on the Altair or the Meridian, but I'm going to show you a different way to do it so you can have a very successful embroidery on your embroidery part of your Altair and Meridian. Okay, and while that is stitching, let's give it a moment so we can take a look. I'm going to get ready on the Meridian. Give me just a moment. Alright, we're almost finished with that. And I just want to show you where it connects. Although I have that blue dot there, I think you'll be able to see it. It's so cool. Now, one of the questions asked earlier this week was they were wanting to quilt, and how do you get started? Where do you start? Where do you do all this? When you quilt a quilt in general, you're always going to start in the middle and work your way out. So you would just start in the middle of your quilt and then work your way out. That way you don't, and I did ask an expert opinion, Mr. Mike Johns, about this, and he said, well, think about it. If you are, just like in general quilting, when you start in the middle, you have less of the possibility of the quilt getting pushed all around or the fabric pushed all around. I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I don't want one side of the quilt to be lopsided. All right, let's back you up so I can remove this and show you where it ended up. This is so cool. Okay. All right, I know I got the blue dot there, but let's see. Do you see those stitches connect beautifully? Oh my goodness. So let's just pop that out so we can take a good look at it together. Gosh, I love my job. Well, the lighting isn't that great, so let's bring it over here, and I'll just do this so you can see it. The lighting's not that great there, but you can see the design. It's all connected. And I would just keep going and going and going until my whole quilt was done. And I did it again, guys. Thank goodness I don't make you pay for the content, right? All right, there we go. So Tammy said she would like to know how to do that on the Altair. Do you just use your app to take a photo? Basically, that's what we're going to do. That is the easiest way I have found. I'm sorry, guys, I'm all tangled now. That is the easiest way to do it. Let's flip this around so you guys won't get sick any longer. Hey! So yes, Tammy, that's the exact way you want to do it. I'm going to turn off this overhead light now. Get to the meridian. Where everything's perfect. And then Mom, I could let you clean it. I tell you, that woman's great. You give her a broom, she's happy for hours. Okay, so is that not super cool? I mean, that's like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So you can really, really have a lot of fun with that. What kind of capitative pen are you using, Robin? Ooh, everybody knows I love this pen. I will put a link up to it in this post for you. This is a pen that I got from Gloria Horn. Gloria has a fabulous store up in the Northeast, and I think it's so I can't remember. I'll put the link up to the exact link for this. It was not very expensive, and I love it. It has this really cool tip on it right here so you don't scratch the screen. So when you get it at home, don't remove this piece. But there's also, it comes with extra ones of these in case you do, something happens to it. So412, thanks Linda, so412.com. It's so fun. It's so fun. Our temps are maybe our temps are going to be low. Yeah, so this is really cool. This is a really great pen, and I love to use it when I'm in IQ Designer and I'm doing some fine tuning. It's nice. Gloria is a friend of mine, and so make sure. That's okay. I'm just laughing with you, Tammy. Make sure to buy it from her because that supports local small business. So I'm big on that, by the way. Y'all get sick of me hearing me say that. Maybe this will show up now if I just hold it up. I should have done a darker color. But that looks really pretty with the snowflakes, doesn't it? The quilting. Love it. And then, of course, the cute fabric on the back. Oh my gosh, this is so adorable. Okay, so let's talk about my Meridian and my Altair girls and gentlemen. Okay, so let me do this. Let me save that to memory so I don't lose it. Now what I did with this one is I am using a pre-made design. Okay, I just want to grab onto this. Okay, so Bill says, and he's going back and he is answering Tammy, I think. So, okay, from what I see, this is what Bill says. The Altair is the Solaris without a camera. Yep. I know the software is a little less elaborate, but I'm sure there will be an upgrade for it. I'm not sure about that, but you never know. You never know what happens in this crazy sewing world. So, okay. Thanks, Diane. Okay, and then Tammy says, how do you sandwich your quilt for machine embroidery? Why did I not explain that? You? Okay. Use a couple different things. Well, I mean, it's the same. It's the same. So you're going to use a top fabric, you're going to use a piece of batting, and your backing. However, I specifically did 2 different types of batting today for you guys. Now, you can use wool batting. I mean, it's going to be a little loftier. You're going to want to raise your presser foot a little bit. But I also love, especially for table runners and small quilts, using fusible fleece as my batting. It stitches beautifully, and it's easy to work with, and you fuse to the top fabric on the back side. It's great. Or I just use I like Dream Cotton, and I like batting. I like Dream Cotton, 100% cotton batting, and I love Angel Loft batting by Embellish. That's one of my favorites. It's really, really soft and just yummy, and it's a thin one. I'm a Florida girl, so all my quilts are real thin. I don't use any wool at all because it's really hot here. So, okay. So, yes, let me talk about how we're going to do the embroidery quilting on the Altera Meridian. Now, I went ahead and stitched out the first part. This is let's call this a border embroidery design. And this one I actually used as a pre-made design by Jessica Schick. I hope I'm saying her last name correctly. And it's just on my USB stick. Now, what I did is I did change the size a little bit. So I saved it to my machine. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to pull a design off of your machine if you're still a little unsure on how to do that. So let's get this in here. Okay, I have the weirdest legs, not me, well I do, but on this thing. So let's come back a little. Let's move you over a little and down. Perfect. I wonder if I can turn this thing. Oh, you guys are amazing. Having to deal with this. Alright, I'm going to have to turn the tripod a little bit. Well, maybe this isn't the tripod for me, but we're going to try it. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So, in order to pull a design off the USB stick, what we want to do is go to Embroidery. We have our USB stick in the side here, and we go to USB symbol. Some of the designs on a USB when they're pre-bought come in looking like this. So I always just go to the design folder. It'll say something like designs or something like that. And I go and look for PES, which is our design file. And here's all her designs for quilting. I've used the bees before, of course. I love those. They're so cute. And then I just kind of came through here and picked out whatever I want, but you can see there's a ton of them. Ooh, spider webs. But I selected this little guy right here and just brought him on screen and hit set. And I did change the size. I just forgot what I changed the size to, so I saved it to the machine. So I'm actually going to go home and re-pull that back up. Now, if you want to pull up a design that you've saved to your machine, all you have to do is go to Embroidery and then go to the little machine. And there's my design right there. So I changed it to 5.18 to that. Okay. I had my 9.5 by 9.5 inch hoop selected when I went up into my settings so I could give myself a good visual, and I had it all the way up here, so it saved it exactly where it was. So what I want to do is I stitched this one, but I want to go ahead and join this one to a second one. So this is the way that I thought was the easiest. Okay, real quick, let's go back over here, and what I'm going to do now is we're going to use the F. If you guys aren't sick of me now. The most embarrassing This one's the most embarrassing one I've done so far. It just, everything keeps falling apart. So let's go up. Okay. I didn't fall, the camera fell. Okay. All right, so number one, why doesn't the Solaris have the categories for designs like the Meridian does Asian? Because each machine has its own special designs. That's just the way they do it. Most machine companies do it that way, Diane. They just have their own specific designs for each specific model. Okay, name again for the quilt designer. Let's see if you guys can see this. If not, I will make sure I put it up. So get a pen ready. Quilting by Design, Jessica Schick, I think it's Schick, S-C-H-I-C-K. The number of this design collection is 80196. So I'm just going to hold it there for just a second longer. That way you can write it down or take a screenshot. And there you go. And it is an OESD. So if you go look for them there. Okay? Alright. So now what I want to do, after I've stitched the design where I wanted it, I am going to unhoop my design. And I drew a line so I could keep everything straight. And I'm just making this on a little smaller piece of fabric. So what I would do, again, if you had the magnetic hoops, this would be easier. You wouldn't have to even take the hoop off of the machine. You could just take it, undo the magnets, and then move this up. So I'm going to move it straight up. Now what I want you to notice is I have my long strings here. I even have my long bobbin string here. And I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. And I'm going to rehoop. I'm going to get it back as... With that line, I'm going to try to get it as straight as possible. There we go. I do like to give it a, just make sure it's set in there by giving it a little bit of a push. Just a little bit. You don't want to do it too much. And there we go. I have my center line. Now, of course, with the Meridian and Altair, you do get the great grids here. So you can go in with your grid and line that up. And what I do like about the grids is they have the needle holes, so you can take it over to your machine, put your needle down, make sure that you're, you know, but we really don't need that, but this is great. Okay, let's go back up. Yes, Ernestine, you can. Yes, you can use the dime hoop. I have the big net 10 worth every penny. Yes, they are. So yes, you can use the dime ones. Okay, so guess what I'm going to do now? I'm going to go to my IQ positioning app. I'm going to let it come up. And I'm going to use the embroidery side now. So let's make sure you guys can see. I'm going to select embroidery. Oh, you know why? Because it's reading my Solaris. Nope, it's reading. Let's make sure it's connected. Okay, done. It is connected. I'm not using that. I'm using Maple. Well, this is embarrassing, guys. So we've got Mabel selected. Let's make sure she's selected. Because it's reading both machines, I want to make sure that it definitely selects Mabel. There we go. Maybe I had to tap on it. There we go. I had to tap on her. So if you got two machines, make sure you tap the button. And then what I'm going to do is hold it up. And once I hold it up, there's going to be a little thing that comes on that looks like my hoop, and it's going to tell me to hold still, and it's going to count to 3 and take a pictures. So I'm going to, I like to stand up high. So I've got a little stool here, and it's telling me hold 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then it takes the picture. You can see the picture right there, and I'm going to hit send to the machine. And it's going to say, okay, sent to the embroidery, and I'm just going to say okay. And I'm going to bring you back around very carefully to my machine, and it's going to say, hey Anna, you sent me an image. Do you want to go with it? And I'm going to say, yep. I'm going to say, okay. Oh, and then it says, hey, put that frame on there for me, and I'm going to. She's very demanding. Mabel is a demanda, what I like to call them. They like to demand that you do things. So I'm going to say, okay. And there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I can see my design. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to be able to see my design right here that I've already stitched out. And then I know where the beginning point of my design is. That's right up here. And I'm going to take it and just butt it up to where the design ended. So you may have to get in there, which is really nice. We can zoom in. You can zoom in quite a bit, but 150 I can see it pretty good. And I'm going to go to my move buttons, and I'm just going to move it up, up, up. Oops, a little too far. Go tap, 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 tap. And then, or I can just move it like this. There we go. Perfect. And even see my bottom line is actually hitting right on my line. Woo, I did good. So let's select OK, and let's go to embroidery. And let me tell you a couple little secrets about this. So if you guys, and I'm sure many of you are amazing quilters, what you generally do, and I'm not an amazing quilter, I'm actually a terrible quilter. I love doing everything else but the end point, quilting. I usually pay someone, but I don't have to do that anymore. So normally what quilters do before they start quilting a quilt is they will drop their needle, then pull it back up. Let's lift the foot, and they will take, and you probably can't see my bottom bobbin thread, but they take and they pull that bobbin thread up so they can bury it later. So you don't have like a knot there. So that's what I did. I do that. But I also turned off. I went here into my machine and I turned off my end cutting points. So what does that mean? My end color trim and my jump stitch. Why did I do that? So that way it won't cut the thread so short. When I go back to bury these threads, I can actually bury them with a needle and they won't be cut too short. So I kind of took that advice from a quilter. So let's hit start and let's see what happens. Yep, right on it. Gosh, I get excited when I do the right thing. So this is only going to take a minute, and then we'll take a look at it and see how it looks. This is so exciting. So yes, with the meridian and the Altair, you can totally do this. And what's fun about it is it really does take a little bit less time. So you could do it this way on the Solaris as well. You're just going to use the camera feature. You're not going to use the app. So really, these machines, they're yours. They're your babies. You can do it however you want. I just think that pattern connectivity is so cool because it really, really does the work for me. So I'm going to let her stitch out. Almost done here. And I know I've got threads everywhere, but that's okay. I can go fish them out and then rebury my threads. Now on the bottom of this, I just used regular bobbin thread. So because it was white and my background's white or cream, so it would blend. So now all I would have to do is, if I wanted to continue, is take and push this up. Oh, and when it stops, it's not going to cut the thread. So let's pull that needle up so I have a thread. But you'll have to cut the underneath too, which is fine. What do I care? I'm just going to go under there and cut, and hopefully not cut myself. Well, that's okay. I better not do that on camera because it looks like the time that I'm having today with my camera, I might cut myself. So we'll go back here and cut. And there we go. It landed right there. Now the only thing, guys, I think you're always going to have that little knot. Now if there is a way that I can figure out how you don't have that, I will let you know. That is something I can definitely research. But I can still quilt a quilt. Really, I don't care, because to me, I can't do that by hand, so I'm happy with it. Okay. Let's turn you around, because I know I had a couple questions that I would love to get answered for you guys. And hopefully the ladies who answered the question are on here tonight. I can't see who's all on here. Oh my gosh. I really need to fix that. Or I really need to have Jason fix that. Okay. Can you use the positioning stickers? You know, you probably could, Ernestine. I just haven't played with those for this particular technique. So let's see if we can. That's a good question. And then Deborah asked, do we need an iPad or can you do it with the phone? Can you download the patterns to USB on iPad? Okay, so if you're going to use the app for positioning, you can do it on your phone or an iPad. Can you download patterns to USB on iPad? And no, unfortunately, you can't do that. You have to have a USB port inside of your iPad, which they do not have. So, that I know of. Or if there might be some tablets out there that have that, but the iPads don't. Okay. Tammy asked, do I spray paste or pen? I spray based, like the example today, I had to pen because I'm out of spray based and we're out of it at the shop. I had to pen when I was working on the table runner last night. So usually I use 505. I love 505 because number one, it's the consistency of a Post-it note, so it's sticky. It's not very sticky. I mean, it's sticky enough, but it's not going to gum up your needle. Or I've never had it gum up my needle. And you can peel it off and on, you know, and it's really nice. And it doesn't get, you've got to be real careful with it. I like to keep the little nozzle clean. I soak it in warm water so it doesn't spit. But that's the one I like. Okay, let me grab my iPad because I'm going to pull up the questions that were asked, because some of you may be wondering the same thing. Let's go to groups. I know I'm way down here, but I'm tired of fiddling with this thing. So, better to see the top of my head. So, Tammy. Hey, Tammy. Okay, I got your question. So, this was your question on Friday. Tammy says, I have a new Altair and I'm wondering, how do you sandwich a quilt for edge-to-edge quilting? Okay, number one, you're going to do it the exact same way that you do a regular quilt. So you're going to take your top piece, whatever batting you're using, and your bottom piece, and you're going to use it like that. I'm assuming you use spray adhesive. I do. Also, do you start in the top left hand corner or continue across, or do you start in the center? We always say to start in the center and work your way out. Very good question. How do you line up the design from one hooping to the next? Just showed you that. Oh girl, and then she, bless her heart, she says, sorry for all the questions. You can tell I'm new. Let me tell you something, Tammy. We were all new once. So any questions you got, just ask. It may take me a minute to get back to them, but girl, please ask away. We're here. That's what this group is about. We're here to help each other. So you are so welcome. And then Marilyn had a question. And Marilyn just said something. They have an extension, Apple, that you put into an iPad. What? Really? So let's go back up here. Deborah, Marilyn said there is an extension, Apple, that must be some sort of an extension piece that you put into your iPad and connect to a USB port. Girl, I need to find that. That is amazing. Okay, cool. Well, Marilyn, you actually asked a question the other day, and it says, if I purchase a quilt design, can I use that on a design I make on my Meridian, like adding the design? I'm assuming you're asking, this is what I think you're asking. Okay. I think if you're asking like a pre-bought quilting design like I have on the USB stick, can you make it echo an embroidery design? You cannot with that. Those are only for the pre-built-in fills. If I'm understanding your question correctly. Otherwise, what you can do is stitch out the embroidery design and then come back in and put the, well, here, I'll show you. This is what you can do with it. So let's just jump over to the Meridian here. And let's see if I can show you this way. So we're just going to lower her a little bit. I'm not going to touch that one piece that I keep touching that keeps falling off. Oops, backwards. There we go. Sue, yes, I will get to that. Okay. So, okay, Marilyn. This is the only way you can do it. So let's do this. Let me put my little USB design stick back in because this has got the quilting designs. I'm going to go to embroidery. I'll go to my USB. I'm going to go get my design. And these are really pretty, guys. Y'all need to go look at these. These are really cute. I think this is an older collection because I've had it for a little while. But I did a class with it with these little bees at the shop, and it was so cute. Diane, did you take that class? I can't remember if you did or didn't. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find a big one, Marilyn. That's kind of all over the place. Well, let's come back here. Gosh, this got some cute. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, let's just say it was kind of this abstracty one right here. And this is really small, so I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so we can act like it's a big design. Okay, so this is how you would have to do it. You'd have to bring up the embroidery design, and then what you want to do is go to add, and then someone's talking outside. I think the dog, I think someone's trying to tell me she wants in. Let's go to Asian Designs, select a flower, and then you're going to have to just set it on top of that. That's the only way with pre-bought embroidery designs you can actually do that. So I'm sorry. Let me think. You know what, Marilyn? There's maybe some way we could finagle something, and I just got an idea in my head. I'll have to work on it first before I make myself look silly on camera. Wait, I've already done that. But yeah, let me see if there's a way I can figure that out for you to really do that. Okay, so let's go back because y'all had a couple questions about the IQ Designer designs. Yes, Sue, I'm right on you now. Here we go. Okay, I'm just going to stay at the Meridian if that's okay with you guys. Okay, so can you show how to remove the lines of fills in IQ Designer so you can connect them? Absolutely. So let's go here. Let's go to IQ Designer. And guys, I'm just going to grab a shape. So let's see. Let's just do the square and select OK. But the very first thing, Sue, that I want you to do is I want you to come up into your line properties, and you're going to select the little piece of paper, and you're going to select is this little icon. This icon is the no sew line. So basically it's just a line there to help us gauge things. So what I'm going to do is tap that, select OK, and then I'm going to select my bucket. And what I want to do is just tap this line that I brought in, that square. And it's going to turn a little bit of a lighter gray color. But when I take that to the embroidery side, that won't stitch out. But there's still one more thing I need to do. First, I need to give it a fill. So let's go here. Let's go to our fill properties. Remember, those are in the second box. And let's select a fill. I'm going to try to find one that I think would be good for that. Maybe this one right here. So let's see. Let's do number 15. I'm going to select OK. And OK again. I'm going to select my bucket and tap inside of that square. So I have that design ready to go. I'm going to select next. And remember, this screen right here is where you can play with the size. But Sue, this is the second most important part right here. Okay? Do you see right here where it says on? The on means on this screen, if you are in a Meridian or Altair, that your outline is on. It will automatically draw an outline of thread around there. We want that to be off. So I want to go to tap that and select outline off. Make sure to hit set and then preview so you can see that it's only going to stitch your design with no outline. And then, hey, let's zoom in a little bit. If you see, you have these little areas that are open now. So that way you can go and scan and connect those. Pretty cool. That would actually be a really beautiful, but it'd be really detailed. But you remember, let's go back here. Let's return. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's go to 150. Oh, wait. Oh, let's just go to 200 because we can. Set. Preview. Okay. Oh, that would be a great quilting design. Let me zoom in on that a little bit for you guys. Would that not be a gorgeous quilting design? I'm loving it. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. I hope that helps, Sue. All right. Okay. And Robin asked, can you share how you did the quilting before the embroidery designs on the Kimberville Boop? Yes, I can. And I did it with one of the designs. Let me make sure. Mine is over here on the Solaris. So let me show you it over here because I like the way it came out. I think it came out really spookily cool, if that's even a way to say something. It was spooky enough. Okay. All right. So you can choose any of the designs you want, Robin. You can even choose the pre-made designs like I showed a moment ago. But if you have, you know, the Solaris or the Destiny 2 or the Meridian or Altair, you have your built-in fills. And that's exactly what I used. So really quickly, let me see what Sue said. I forgot, no, thank you. Yeah. So Sue said you could, you know, she gets it now. You can make embroidered fabric too, and that's really cool because I love making my own fabric. So what that means is basically embroidering fabrics, and you can, you know, use your fabric as a purse, or, you know, turn it in, you know, it's just, yeah, cool. Okay, so let's go, Robin. Okay, Robin. Now this was really easy. I've just got to find my USB stick that I have it on. I think it's in there. Let me check to see if it's in there first. Yeah, they're in there. Okay. So I'll show you how I did that. So when we're home, what I want to do first is go to IQ Designer. And I kind of had to go through the directions to see how big we were going to finish cutting those blocks for the Twilight Boulevard pillow. And I think, if I remember correctly, they were around 6 by 8 is what you end up cutting them. It's something like that. So what I did was I first came here to shapes, and I grabbed a square here and selected OK, and I changed that square to about 7 by 9 or something like that. I did it bigger than what we were going to cut it. So really you could have done 8, let's just do 8 by 10. Because, you know, when you embroider, you always have a little bit of shrinkage. So I'm going to change the size of this to about 8 by 10. And you have some, these two right here are proportional buttons, so you can change the size proportionally. But what I want to do is change it unproportionally. The first thing I'm going to do, real quick, Robin, is I'm going to turn this off so that one box is not in there and we don't see that. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to make this about 10 inches. Right there. And then I'm going to make it about 8 inches wide using the unproportional buttons. Just to give me some room, and then I'm going to say OK. Now at this point I don't care if I'm not going to change, well, I am going to change the outline line right here to a no-sew line. So I'm going to come first up here to our upper boxes, and those upper boxes are your line properties inside of IQ Designer, and I'm going to select the piece of paper. And I'm, just like I did a moment ago, I'm going to change that line to a no-sew line. I just want a boundary. I don't really want it to stitch out. So I'm going to select OK. But remember, you have to select the bucket and then tap the line. Next, what I want to do is fill in the design, or excuse me, the rectangle. I am going to go to the next set of boxes right here, which are your fill properties, and I can touch this little piece of paper here, and I'm going to go find the fill that I want. And where did I find that? I actually came down to number 30 and I selected OK. And let me show you guys, I have it right here, happen to have it right here. This is what she's talking about. So see the little house, but see the designs behind it? They're kind of like this weird, spooky lines. I just kind of thought that was really cute. So I selected those, and I'm going to select OK. But right underneath, you're going to see where it shows those little bitty lines right here. It'll show you what design you chose. You're going to select the bucket, and you're going to tap inside here. And then you're going to go to next. Okay, this is the thing though. Look how tiny those lines are. I wanted to stretch them out so they looked, you know, I mean, because the block is tiny. I mean, when we get done, it's like 8 by 10. So these little tight lines just didn't look good to me. So I went into my sizing, and I can't exactly remember exactly what size I went to, but let's do 175%. I may have went to 200. Let's check 200. Okay, that looks about right. So I've got these spooky lines in the background, and that's all I did. I just changed the size. I didn't change anything else. So I was happy with that. Now in the Solaris, unlike what Sue asked how she could turn off the outline inside of the meridian. Well, in the Solaris, it automatically turns it off. Okay, so what we're going to do is select Set, OK, and there is our background design. Now what we're going to do is, on my handy dandy USB stick here, I have the design for the Kimberbell, one of the houses. So we'll go to Add, and I'm going to go find my USB stick. Depending on what machine you're using, you'll find it, you know, in different places, and I'm not sure which machine you're using. Just let me know and I can help you find that if you're unsure. So what I'm going to do for the Solaris is go to my pocket, and I'm going to look for my USB symbol. I'm going to tap that, and it's going to be, let's grab Bella's Boutique. and I'm just going to hit set and drop it in there. And then there I go. I can go to embroidery now and finish it all out. So that's all you had to do. It's actually really simple and it's a lot of fun. So, Judy, I don't know. My designs didn't come with background, and I think what happened was that people were building their own backgrounds, and I saw today that this week that Kimberbell is releasing some quilting designs. So, and she may already have some on her website. So, yeah. Okay, Ernestine said, can you use the USB on all machines? Yes, you can. Absolutely. All right. Edward asks, where can I find the past videos on the meridian you've done? You know what, Edward? I will go ahead and tag you into a video I made on how to find those videos. They will be in the photos section of the group, and what you'll see is a little play button on them, but I will make sure to tag you, let me write your name down, to tag you in the videos, or in that video, so you can watch that and it'll explain it a lot better. So, Edward, and what's your last name again? I'm sorry. Richardson. Okay, I got you. I'll take care of you. Okay, well, let me see who else is here. What Kimberbell USB is that? Actually, that is the Twilight Boulevard. Where's my paperwork? And I can show you how cute this is. This is, I think I packed it all away. It is a bench pillow that is so stinking cute, Deborah. Mary Beth, you too? Okay, let me write you down. Mary Beth. Mary and Lynn. Okay, and Lynn, I'll Mary Beth St. Bernard. I have to write it down or I'll forget, and then I'll have a hard time. I mean, you know, details. And then Lynn. Okay, Lynn, you want me to too? Okay. Okay. Cool. One other thing I want to share with you guys here is a shameless promotion, because I like to do that. I don't promote much, but myself much, but please, Robin, okay, I'll get you too. Oh goodness, I will. Okay, Donna, I'll go back through this and make sure I get everybody's name. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. I'm going to kind of come over here so you can see me again. Okay, so I was honored enough to work with the Quilters Planner this year. This is one of my favorite planners. I have used it for a couple years now. This one is next year's. My other one is around here somewhere. I use it religiously. It's a really cool planner. It not only has just your regular dates and stuff, you can actually get it set up how you want. You tell it how you want it. There are tons of covers to choose from. But the great thing about it is it has quilting fun patterns in here. So here's like a bag. There's also a bunch of quilts and some all kind of fun stuff. Also at the end, this is one of my favorite parts. It keeps me organized. I know this is backwards, but this is projects at a glance. So what it has is a date. You put your project down. And then it says, did you get your fabric cut? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? So you can keep a list of all your projects that you're working on. It's got paper. It's got grid paper and stuff to draw your patterns. I mean, it is amazing. All kind of techniques, color theory, and everything in here. And they're inexpensive. But what machine is the planner for? For any machine. But when you buy it, you get a pattern emailed to you. And guess who that pattern's by? Me. So it's a cute little quilted bookmark that you're going to, let me grab mine, I can show you. This one was one of my first ones, so it's not my favorite, but So basically, you take it and you use it on your planner like this. You put your pen in there and you're ready to go. Super cute. It's paper pieced, which is one of the things I love to do the most. So the Quilter's Planner. So once we hit 500 followers, which we're only 50 away, I'm going to be giving away a Quilter's Planner to somebody. So make sure to share the group with your friends, because as soon as we're only 50 people away. As soon as we get 500 members, I'm going to be giving away the 2021 Quilter's Planner, of course, with the my pattern. I'll even sign it for you, and all the other fabulous So, Deborah, I will put up a link for the Quilter's Planner, and you don't have to use it for quilting. It's a planner. You can use it for whatever you want. So, yeah, so I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about that, and I'm super honored to have worked with them, and hopefully we'll be working with them more in the future. So Stephanie is amazing. She's the head honcho of this. When you go look at them, they've got some beautiful covers. I just wanted a sunny, happy cover this year. So share the group with your friends. Remember to tell them to answer all the questions so I can keep you guys safe. Yeah. So, all right. Any other questions today? Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Did you use the same fill on all the blocks? Mine isn't the Judy, yes. Well, I'm starting over, so yeah. Yeah, but the ones that I started are all the same fill, but you can do whatever you want. But if you do all the same fill, when you're making the pillow, it'll all kind of blend together because there's no breaks when you put the pieces together. Okay, Thank you, Anita. So make sure to share so we can get to 500 and you get this awesome planner. And yeah, so if you have any more questions, you think about them later, do what you do. You just post a question and we'll answer it. If I don't get back to you quickly, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Things should be quieting down a little bit now. I'm excited. I have a little bit more time to work and in my sewing room and do some fun stuff for you guys. If you have ideas about what you would like to see, please let me know. That's how I did it this week. I had a couple of questions on quilting, and I was like, why not do quilting? So yeah. So I hope that you guys have a fantastic Labor Day. If you are a worker, hope you have tomorrow off. If you're not a worker, happy retirement. I'm jealous. And so hopefully y'all can get some sewing done tomorrow. And if you have questions while you're working on stuff, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Happy Labor Day. Keep calm, sew on, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.